Greetings and welcome, folks, fellow adventurers, to another episode of Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition.
Oh, yes.
Right, we have solved the riddle of the bridge, and now have to deal with this. So we need to quickly change our strategy. You need to use this shield now.
Point the sword, and I
Lead the way.
I pledge my service and
just
my
as I
life.
thought.
Yoshimo is willing.
I go.
You got some Gauths over here. Now, I have no idea exactly what a Gauth is. It looks like a miniature beholder, but it could just be a baby beholder. Also, let's not have anyone think for themselves at this point.
I hear you well enough.
Luckily, I knew they were here. Or at least that we'd be facing beholders at some point, so I brought the Shield of Baldur with me. They are cheating a bit, I
With
guess.
all speed, comrade.
Yes, anyone that is within range.
Good.
We also got some Shadow Fiends coming along.
Jon Jonsson at your service.
I stand amongst the righteousness shall prevail.
You know, this reminds me of that time way back.
Cooked some of the shadows. And I take out the rest of them.
Something you need.
Onward.
I really need to get the rest of the group away.
At your order.
It's not great. I kinda need them to be able to do stuff.
You need my yes, a standard.
Where shall I
tactic
display
that.
my skill and expertise? Something you need.
Fear is
Beware!
no
Your
confidence.
knees are mine.
This weapon has no effect.
I hit you. To no effect.
Prepare to meet your doom.
Alright.
Come on, what about now? Let's kill!
Yes.
We need to prepare a little bit more for what's coming next,
is
since
it
I know
now?
what's coming. Yeah, obviously the beholders, but still.
Nature's servant awaits.
I shall go forth at your command.
Do a little bit of this.
I await your need.
Point the sword. Very well.
I wouldn't dream of refusing.
I hear you.
Don't yell. I can hear you
Something
just
you need.
fine.
I'm ready, I think. I stand ready.
Beware! Your knees are
I
mine.
stand amongst the righteous.
Right, let's see if we can hold off against that for now. Need to get rid of the Gauths as quickly as I can.
Jon Jonsson at your service.
Pay attention. You will get no second chance. Embarrassing.
They made the AI for these critters a bit more intelligent.
You have a plan? So be it.
Yes, a standard
I can
tactic
dance on the
that.
head of a pin as well.
Yes.
Right, you shoot at that.
To meet your doom. Don't forget to raise me.
Ah, I'm not doing that.
Okay? I'm not an
Of
axe.
course.
I stand ready.
What is it? Very well.
I mean, that's at least an interesting challenge.
I shall go forth at your command.
If you could just go and stun yourselves.
A standard tactic.
I am yours to direct. So be it.
Nature's servant awaits.
Fear is for those of no confidence.
I await your need.
I hit. No effect. Take you.
Focus on trying to kill the ghosts.
The pain nearly all went. Duty calls, I see.
By Uncle Spanky's thumb.
Something you need.
To battle with no regrets. Point the sword, and I shall strike.
This isn't boring. I'll give it that.
Yes?
Come on, hold in there, Keldor.
Take that. For the order!
Alright,
Yes. I wouldn't dream of refusing.
much better.
I can dance on the head of a pin as well.
Right, let's load in another bunch of arrows for you.
I am ready.
Skill and poisons.
Alright,
Something you need.
good enough. Let's move forwards. See what this loot is. Prize. It is a Ashidina, which is a mace I actually already am familiar with. Lady Ashidina was a remarkable strategist who honed her skills against the Orc armies in the year of the Black Horde. She met Durgard Wiltoon, the warrior that wielded this weapon, when he foiled an ambush led by the great Orc Barstock, and soon after made him her field captain. After serving at each other's side for the entirety of the war, they fell in love and eventually married. Historians report that Durgard named his warhammer after his bride to remind himself of the love he fought to protect. What Lady Ashidina thought of this is unknown. But regardless, it is a good war mace. Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer. Which is slightly better than the kneecapper in overall immediate use, but this will be more useful if we ever go up against giant humanoids. Who knows? It might happen.
Yes.
Just as I thought.
Regardless, we are through this. You can now switch back to your family shield again. I don't know if there's any traps here, but let's be safe.
You require my counsel, yes? Fleet of foot and
Since
all
we
that.
are entering an area that's being guarded, obviously.
Where shall I Yoshimo is willing.
Something you need.
To the task at hand.
If memory... You're right behind me, right?
Probably the only significant trap. Yeah, there's people there, so
Yes.
we should probably go talk to them. Talk to the diseased one over here.
Of course.
Yes?
Hello. Hello yourself. Can I ask you who you are? I don't mean to pry. Of course you do. You would not have asked the question, it matters not at all. I have nothing to hide from you, or would not care even if I did. I'm sure it would make you feel important, but I have simply no interest in you. I think you'll find we care about very little at all. And I care even less who you are. Just tell me what this place is. Ah, you wish the exposition. Typical. I should really write this down so I don't have to keep repeating it. Not that we had a lot of visitors. We are the Guardians. We guard the temple. This is very important because every few hundred years someone almost wanders this way. We have forgotten what it is we guard. We have forgotten how many generations we have been here, and we have forgotten what it is to have a purpose. You sound thrilled with your calling. Why do you stay? We cannot leave. We cannot even die. We are born again in an endless recycling of souls. We learn over and over again that we are condemned to a fate we no longer want. And the temple? Who is it dedicated to? The temple? It's been so long since we uttered the god's name, it's been forgotten by most. What loyalty do we owe a creature that would condemn us to this? And this disease you appear to have, what is it? It is the decay of our mind and souls. We grow to hate the power that sustains us, so it rots us from the inside. There is no cure, there is no escape, there is no end. Well, if you are too weak to free yourself, I suppose I should try to. Do what you will, there is no escape for us. We've accepted this. We teach it to the newly young, we then teach it to the old that die and are reborn. The deal which placed us here has been followed to the letter, and we are never to be released from service no matter how pointless the task. You will fail. You cannot help but fail. We know this. We expect nothing other. Is there nothing that can be done? Have you petitioned your lord? We cannot petition the unknown. We have not seen a sign for ages, and his name is lost to us now. No. Nothing is directed at the temple except loathing. Take what you will, we are guardians in name only. We might as well be simple mindless skeletons. That is indeed very bleak. I think the children have much to say.
You're a stranger.
You want to see what we made? You go into the temple and see what we made? We can't because it's ours. We forget. You can see it, but cannot fight it. What are you talking about, child? You will see. I cannot see, but that's because it's mine. You will see. Fight it. What can I not fight? What do you speak of? Send our thoughts to the temple, we do. Thoughts of one with faith. Can you find a wound in faith? Go away. My fun is done years ago. I don't think I'm going to get much clearer answers from them. Just go inside. Hate is here. Here is hate. Attack with anger and feed the hate. The hate!
Pay attention. You will get no second chance.
Alright, let's not do that.
Dream of refusing.
Guess I'll just have to try at least to hit it.
Oh, yes.
Alright. Leave.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Just as I thought.
Yes?
You have failed, of course. You could do no other. What manner of creature was in there? It actually wanted me to attack it. I do not know and I do not care. You can do nothing here. There is no end to the duty. Well against whatever beast is there, but it will do you no good. Well, obviously. This is a wound. The empathetic manifestation that's near death.
It is about time.
It does not need to be fought, it needs to be healed. So let us heal. Not sure it matters which healing spell you use, but Jaira is protected.
Who walks in the temple of I? Speak speak of yourself? You are almost beyond the sight of eye.
I could say the same of you. Are you the chief resident of this temple? I am I. The temple is I. Though it is not safe for even I. The beast does kill my form repeatedly. You have slain it for but a small time. It comes again and again. The beast is a fell deity, for it has more power than I can muster. My legion of followers feed the creature, and I am weakened and fading. Such power the beast has. If this is your temple and you have no legion, your followers do not follow you. But they must serve. It is the letter of the agreement. They were to guard, and I would provide for their lives. This was to be for all time. There must be an end. It has been so long they don't even recall your name. Then it is little wonder I cannot defeat the beast. It is their loathing and pathos. It has become their object of worship, whether they know it or not. The time has passed. I have not here and will not again. Even the great device has waned in power and is not so epic a danger as once I thought. I understand. It is an avatar of a fated god, left guarding an item that has waned in power. Loathing has replaced the worship of his followers, a lingering fate.
I weep for my children. Their hate sustains this place, though they would intend otherwise. Had they not thought of me at all, I would have perished, and soon after so would they.
Is there anything I can do to help you? The letter of the bargain was that I protected the great device until the end of time. The creator races were very specific. I will reinterpret the words, for it is surely the end of my time. The intent of the bargain was that the great device would not be used again. If it is indeed the end of time, then my last act should be to destroy it. I have not the power to do so. It is needed first. Perhaps we could help each other?
Yes, I see in your mind the way to release this place. You seek the great device for another, though you owe them no allegiance, and they intend to kill you. The cause is simple. You will take the great device, the piece that I possess, and ye shall combine it with the piece the creature already has. The assembled rod would surely destroy the beast. You must use the item upon the beast, and then return it to me. Use it but once, or you will perish under its power. Tell my people that you carry the piece that I give you, that you might deplete it, that you go to restore its components so that it may be disposed of as a whole, not in part. My people must know I intend to destroy it when you return. But more, they must know I intend to end their service. This simple act of bringing together the two parts of the rod will instill a small amount of faith for an instant. If they are in my presence, such an instant will allow me to destroy the artifact.
What do I get out of this? the destruction of the beast that is using you. I know not if you know its nature, but you will stand little chance against the thing without the great device. No, you must do this for me. It is in your best interest. Use the item once with my blessing to ward you against harm. Return as though at my bidding, and you will free my people. Do this. I will help you. Give me the device. Take it and plant the seed of hope within my followers. They may not believe you now, but when they return, they will perhaps have a spark. Well, that's all very interesting. Or much more so than last time I met a god. The last time you met a god? It was Orgma, god of knowledge. Although I can't say I really met him, I suppose, as he was drunk and fast asleep in Cousin Rofa's back lawn. Or perhaps I should say on Cousin Rofa's back lawn. He was a giant of an avatar, sprawled out and snoring. I wonder how you get a god drunk. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard known. Orgma is a serious and wise god that deserves more respect from you, even if you're even capable of it. But it is true. Someone had drawn a mustache on him and yanked his underwear clear up to his shoulder blades. No idea who. All I can think is that must have been one hell of a party. But if you won't believe me, well, much as it hurts poor old Jan, I suppose there's nothing I can do about it. Poor Jan Jansen. He is such a liar. Boo-hoo. Sure. But we have our object. The first part of the rift defies a rod. A section of the rod that is highly coveted by the unseeing eye.
Something you need? Onward,
You
then.
must gather your party before venturing forth.
Speak your mind. It is done.
Yes?
Keep a wary eye about
Task
it.
at
One
hand.
never knows the form that...
Have you enjoyed your visit?
Is this?
Of course you found nothing, and of course you will leave empty-handed. There is... You have the great device. What are you doing with that? It cannot be moved. It has not been moved in millennia. It is the will of your god that it be taken from this place and weakened. I do not believe you. Nothing has changed in ages. If you have the great device, it is only because our god is weaker than we imagined. You will see. It is to be destroyed when I return. You will be free of your duty. Nothing changes here. You will not return. We will not be freed. There is nothing to lend our faith, but to hate and loathing. Go. It is the last we will see of you. I'm not that evil. At all, actually. I'm not evil at all. Just neutral. Chaotic neutral, so I don't have to hold to my promise, but it seems such a petty thing to keep this rod. Even if it is very powerful. Yes. Very powerful. Let us just leave. You know, I am curious. Anything else I can look at here? And the eyes are alive. Will it just keep spawning more things? Yeah.
Not better. Discretion. Discretion.
This weapon has no effect.
Mm-hmm.
To battle with no regrets.
Well, I have now said.
Of
No
course.
point in fighting that again and again and again. And I like that this skull is still floating about here.
Don't yell. I can hear you just fine.
Yes? I wouldn't dream of refusing.
I wish I could pick it up, but it's just fine up there.
Oh, yes.
Right, let's hope that it did not replace any of the traps up here.
Jon Johnson, at your service.
I'm ready, I think.
Mm-hmm. Just as I thought.
Is that you? Have you returned successful?
Yes, I have half of the rod here with me. Most excellent, my lord. Most wonderful. Let me tell you then how the second half of the rod can be acquired. The unseeing eye is in a great pit in the center of the cult compound. You cannot enter the pit by the stairs. The Baldur's minions would slay you. But you must get into the pit. There's a niche where the beholder stores his treasures, including the rod. There's a safe way to get to that niche. One of our friends is still in the cult. You must approach him and say the phrase, "The eye is blind." He will then know who you are and be able to help you. You will find the pit of the faithless. Do hurry, my lord. The beholder continues to mesmerize and murder the innocent even as we speak. Well, I shall go immediately and locate this man you speak of. Praise the gods. I wish you well, my lord. Remember, do not speak to Gal. If he senses that you have half of the rod, the plan is doomed. Speak only to Tad. Well, I'm not foolish enough to speak to Gal that way. Oh, another. These things just keep spawning.
You will fall yet.
You can't be serious.
Something you need. Yes. Onward then.
Good that there's no such thing as poison. Yeah, I need. Right, that'll do. Should really pack something against disease while I'm down here, I guess. Yeah, where is it? Cure disease. I'm just looking over it now. Cure disease, right. Slightly more useful than animate dead. Granted, it may not be much use on him because he's most likely the one that gets diseased, but we will see. I do hope they did not reactivate the traps in here, because that would be most annoying. It looks like everything is still clear from the last time. Right, so we have some elite guards. There's a ceremony going on over here.
Kneel and repent.
Do you revoke the weakness of the sighted? I do. Then you revoke the false power of sight and embrace the true vision of holy blindness. I revoke it. Then what must be done to set things aright? Take my foul sight, master. Let the orbs in their poisonous sight be torn from my body. Let me be made pure. So shall it be done. Be you pure of intent and you shall live. Cling to the foul sight and you shall die. Let it be done.
Cast off your old beliefs and be saved.
Ah!
Kneel and repent.
The unseeing eye is always here. He sees that you are not worthy, and the blood at my feet proves it. Take him away. Throw the body down into the pit of the faithless. It shall be as you say. fairly brutal, but then again, this is a cult. And that'll do for this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time. If you like my content, please rate, comment, and subscribe. See you then.